All right, guys, good morning. It's Andrew from 510 Books. I want to share with you a couple things I sold. By the way, it's Thursday. What is today? 20, is it the 27th, I believe? No, sorry, 28th of October, 2021. So I sold this lot of 48 of these CDs. You're probably familiar with these. They're called Putamayo Presents, and they're music CDs from all over the world, or at least music from all over the world. You know, we have Cuba, we have World Lounge, Colombia, Caribbean. So there's all different kinds, and I've been collecting these for a while. I still am, still building up more. And I had 48 of them for sale. It took a couple months, probably like 3 months or so. But it sold for $200 plus shipping. So I was pretty excited about that. So that was an awesome sale that I had yesterday. Again, this is something that if you're coming across a lot of a certain type of thing, it could be books, it could be CDs, it could be DVDs. You know, you can dedicate a certain amount of space, physical space and headspace to collecting them to build up as many as you can and then put them in a lot on eBay. I find the more that you have, the better. The higher price you can sell it for, the quicker you can sell it. Although this didn't sell quick, but you know, if I would have had even more, there's definitely more in the series. That was just all that I had, and I figured 48 was a good amount. I was surprised it took as long as it took to sell, but it didn't take up much space. And yeah, it was a nice sale, and it was nice to get that out of nowhere. So I recommend doing that with different types of media. It could be a certain CD series. You know, it could be books, not necessarily, but I would say, I mean, books, yes, of course, you can do that with books. If there's certain genres, there's certain series, book sets. But, you know, books are bigger, books are heavier, books take up more space. If you have the space, if you have the organization, then go for it with books as well. But I don't tend to do it with books. I do it mostly with CDs, a little bit with DVDs, but mostly just CDs because they're small, take up a little bit of space. And I get them in bulk, and over time I build these up. So there's other ones like Reader's Digest. You can come across, if you go through Gaylords or bulk CDs, you'll come across a lot of Reader's Digest ones. And usually individually they're not worth money, but if you can get 50, 100 of them together, you can sell them for a nice chunk of change. Those 20th Century Masters ones, I have a set of those up for sale. Hasn't sold yet. I got an offer, but it was too low for me. I got a couple offers on that, and I've been accumulating more of them. So what I might do is just put the additional ones I've got in with the current ones I have for sale. I really like to do it with CDs though, because there's a lot of them, and anyway, like I said, they take up a little bit of space. The other thing that I sold, I wanted to share with you, is this old telegraph. And as you can see, well, if you can see here, actually, it's hard to see. Let's get the light on there. 1911. It's got this arm on it, this metal arm. And here's the actual telegraph. It's in great condition, the box here as well. It's from this company, J.H. Bunnell. And I just listed it yesterday, I believe. And I found that there were two that had sold within the last 3 months on eBay, which I was surprised, but they had sold, I believe one sold for around $180 something, another one sold for like 150 something plus shipping on both. So I have currently the only one up for sale on eBay. So I listed it higher. I listed it for $250 plus shipping, ship at UPS, and someone bought it. Actually, I listed it 2 days ago, and then it sold yesterday. So it's super rare niche type of thing. The challenge is going to be packing it well enough so that nothing happens to it, no damage happens while it's en route. So I'm probably going to put it inside of a box with lots of cushion, and then put that box inside of another box. So I got to make sure that I have the right boxes for that. So I'm going to probably go hunting a little bit this morning. But this one was free. I've sold, this is probably the third electronic I've sold. I decided to not list a bunch of them. But anyway, that's another conversation. But yeah, this one I was lucky to find the other two, because if I had not found the other two, I wouldn't have known how to describe it. And so that really helped. So it's really good to use the eBay solds. And this is the kind of super rare niche item that is impossible to find. It was just luck, I guess you'd call it luck, but just, my name being out there and someone telling someone else about me and them finding me, and that I got a hold of these. And the woman also, which I've mentioned in past videos, also donated a bunch of electronic books that I've already made great money off of. I have some more lots of those to sell as well. So that donation has been really great. I have another weird looking old electronic that I'm not sure if it's a radio or what it is, that I still have to do some research on. It's really heavy and big. That's the other thing about it, why I didn't want to list everything. It's because they are big and bulky. Not all the electronics. I sold some other smaller ones that were not as heavy and bulky, but some of them are really big and bulky and awkward to pack. And so there's always the potential of them getting damaged, which is why I wanted to do UPS instead of the post office. I tend to do better with that. So this one sold for $250 plus shipping. The other one $200, so that's $450 in a day between two items, which is always awesome when that happens. Okay, continuing with the video, I wanted to share with you how I packed that fragile item. I'm not done packing it, but this is the beginning of the packing process. I'm going to pack it as tight as possible. Make sure it doesn't move around too much and doesn't get damaged. So here's the box I have it in, pretty large box. And I have other boxes I've torn up on top of it to cushion it. And then inside here, it's actually inside of another box. And I'm going to fill all of that space down there with some rolled up paper, basically. Just to make sure that, and also inside here, I'm going to pack that as tightly as I can, make sure nothing happens to it. It doesn't really move around. I mean, of course, if it's dropped, what are you going to do? Hopefully it doesn't get dropped. Usually UPS does better, though. So that's where I'm going to be with that. So I will say the caveats for, the big caveat for electronics, whether it's how old it is, doesn't matter how old it is, whether it's 110 years old like this one or whether it's 20 years old, is that they're fragile. And so you've got to take the time and effort to properly pack them. Otherwise, you're looking for trouble. Don't be casual about it. Make sure and pack it as tightly as you can, or as well as you can. Usually in a box, surrounded by, whatever you have, whether it's bubble wrap or whether it's, paper dunnage, as they call it. Just make sure it's packed tight. And that box usually inside of another box, if at all possible. So I've sold lots of electronics over the years. It's not been my main thing at all, but I've done enough of it to where I know that things do get damaged. I mean, I remember I sold I can't remember how many discs it held, but it held many CDs at a time. It was a CD player. And then it ended up getting a big dent on the side, and I had to refund them the money, even though I had packed it really well. I believe it went through the post office, though. So I recommend doing UPS if possible, and just charge more for shipping. I mean, this person paid $62 for shipping. So they got to pay if they want it. That bulky, fragile item, they're going to have to pay for shipping. So don't be scared that your shipping cost is really high, because for these types of items, it's just what it's going to be. Let me share a couple more things that sold. I sold this book, which has a lovely cover. The Kirsten Memoirs. So you probably get an idea of what that's about. That one sold. I took an offer for 20 bucks. Could have got more if it wasn't in such rough shape. This was a donation. Yeah, so I'm not sure how long that sat. Not too long. And then I sold this book on Amazon. That other book was on eBay. This is on Amazon. It's only like $6 and change. That one sold. And then this one was nice. The, what is it called? Original Emotion Picture Score of Alien. This one I had listed for a little bit more, like $31.99, but I have a 25% off promotion going, so they got that $8 off, and it was, what is that, $23.99. So I made like $17, I believe, in change. Or no, I can't remember. But anyway, it was good. I only got to spend $1 on this, so it was a nice return on the money. And this one I just listed. I just listed that one. So that's what I had for today. Of course, in addition, I got the what do you call it? That CD lot for $200. And as I was sitting here this morning, at some point this came in. So this is a lot of 54 Lifescapes music CDs. So you probably come across these a lot if you sell a lot of CDs. It's a brand, Lifescapes, or I don't know, it's the record out, I'm blanking right now, but they have Lifescapes across them, excuse me, and they have lots of different types of music, and people will buy these in bulk, and this sold for $59.99 plus shipping. So this was a nice sale as well. I put this up at the same time that I put up the Putumayo Presents CDs. So this is great that I'm getting rid of this stuff that's been sitting for about 3 or 4 months. Another great sale. All right, guys, so moral of the story is if you're going to sell electronics, pack it carefully, be prepared for returns and damage, but do as well as you can with packing it. And also when it comes to CDs that come from certain sets or certain record labels or whatever it may be, I recommend, if you have the space, the patience, the organization, I recommend building those up, and then over time you get enough together and you can sell them for a decent amount of money as a lot, versus individually they might not do very well selling them online. So I'm trying to get better about noticing these certain types. That's why I pick out the Lifescapes, I pick out the what is it called, the Reader's Digest, the 20th Century Masters. There's a lot of different ones. I have several dozen that I collect. Kid Bop is another one. What is that one? Now, what is it called? Now That's Music or something like that. And they're up to over 100 of them. If you can get a bunch of those together, I'm trying to get the whole collection together, or a lot of them anyway. And yeah, so I'm always on the lookout for those. Put them to the side and collect them. I also, what I've been doing is hoarding, I guess, but I've been collecting heavy metal, well-known heavy metal bands. So things like Twisted Sister, things like Motley Crue, groups like Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, other ones like that fall into that category that are well-known, you know, been around for a while. Back in the 80s were big, maybe even earlier in the 70s. And I am putting together as many of those as I can. And ideally, I'll get enough to go. Pantera's another one, enough together that, you know, if I can have 10 to 20 each group, then I can do some lots of those on eBay. You know, I could do all of them together. That's another option. I'll look into it as that grows, because I've got a bunch more this time around. I made a bulk buy of CDs and DVDs, and they had a lot of heavy metal stuff, hard rock heavy metal stuff in there. So I've added to that considerably. So I need to go back through that and organize it and see how much I have. I have quite a lot so far, probably easily over 100 CDs. Yeah. So that's another, you know, a certain genre, a very specific genre. Heavy metal is great, punk is great, rap is great. There's certain genres that have a really loyal following, and they'll pay up for stuff. So keep that in mind as well. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.